どうも、生味です。今回もオリエント急行殺人事件やっていきます。前回は主だった出来事といえば、嘘が下手くそすぎるアーバスノット隊とミス・デブナムの関係、そしてハンカチに書かれた H のイニシャルからファーストネームがまだ判明していない人、そして埋まっていないアリバイなどを追うこととなります。そんな中でここバーのところ、もう早速ですね、何かに明らかに困ってる様子だ。
Monsieur Foscarelli, I would like to ask you a few questions if you allow me.
どうせまずこれ直さないとでしょ。
Signore Poirot, is it? I was wondering when you'd get around to me. Unfortunately, you find me on a mission of mercy.
Hello, Monsieur Poirot. Sorry, we have a small problem. The orange juicer has broken down and I can't fix it. Mr. Foscarelli has kindly offered to help me.
It isn't a car engine, but I am doing my best.
Even with the two of us, we can't manage.
Let me guess, you call upon Poirot to help.
I'd be happy to answer your questions when we finished.
はい。オレンジジューサーを修理する。で、離れてどうするんですか。2人でも難しいとか言っても、これ何人かいればなんとかなるとかそういうもんでもないですよね。で、まずここだけはとりあえず生きてるんだけど、要するにこれ全部ちょっと待って、なんか操作ややこしい、ちゅうか眩しいな。そこにはまる。これは固定ですからね。今回ってくれたんだったらそれでいいんじゃないでしょうか。ちょっと本当に眩しいな。待ってください。これ違うよね。違うよね。微妙な差がまたちょっと分かりづらい気もするんだけど。どうなってるこれ。ちょっと待ってよ。これちっちゃい歯車でもはまるのか。まあはまるははまるんでしょうけど、でダメですよね。なんだろう、ここにこの重なる歯車っていうのは何なんだろう。これ絶対ちっちゃいやつだと思う。ここのでかいやつにはまってるんで。でで最初回ったのはこれで OK でしょ。であれ、持っちゃったのか。ここ行きそうですけどね。で、下の歯車を今はめたやつが回してくれるっていうシステムかな。で、今度これと噛み合うために、待てよ。なんかおかしくはないだろうか。こう行きますね。二重に重ねることもできるのか。なるほど、そういうことか。で、このちっちゃいやつを上に乗せてやればここに来る。オッケーオッケーオッケー。で、よしよしよしよしよし。はい、よかったです。使ってみてください。
Bravo! I should stick to automobiles.
Well, now we can talk calmly. Monsieur Foscarelli, is it?
Antonio Foscarelli, delighted, Monsieur Poirot.
You have, of course, heard about Ratchet's murder last night.
Oh, naturally. It is all anyone is talking about.
はい、話題にならないわけがない。で、アームストロング事件。
Have you ever been to the United States?
Yes, it has been a primary market for our cars for the last 10 years.
You remember the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? The name, yes. It was a little girl, a baby, was it not?
Yes, a very tragic affair. Did you know that Cassetti, the kidnapper, was actually Ratchet?
Oh, no. Then he deserved to die. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
はい、なるほど。話題性の高い事件ではありましたからね。で、アリバイ。
Can you tell me your movements on the night of the murder?
I went to bed right after dinner, but I slept very badly. My roommate, Mr. Masterman, had a toothache. Oh, he moaned all night. It woke me up several times.
Did you hear anything or notice anything unusual?
No, nothing that I can think of. I stayed in my bed all night.
はい、あの時も歯に苦しんでいたんですね。で、足りないアリバイ、まずでも一つ埋まったってぐらいかな。
I'm sorry I couldn't help more, signore. I remain at your disposal if you should need me.
そんで聞かなきゃいけない人はめちゃめちゃいるんすけど、めちゃめちゃいるイコール出会う人聞かなきゃいけないような感じです。
Monsieur Poirot. I can put orange juice back on the menu.
よし。彼はとりあえずいい。言った端から聞かなくてもいい人になってしまったが。あ、で、相変わらずマトリョーシカを見てますね。
You are Hildegard Schmidt?
I am, jawohl. And you, I know, are Herr Poirot.
Correct. May I ask you for a few minutes of your time to answer a few questions?
With pleasure, but first
ちょっと
may
待
I
っ
ask
て。
for your help.
Why does this not
い
surprise
や、
you?
驚いた。さっきやったばっかりだから。
No?
I am at your service, Fraulein.
My mistress, Princess Dragomirov, has asked me to open this traditional Matryoshka doll. There is a trinket inside she must retrieve.
Madame, in my experience,
mm,
each
mm.
Russian
So,
nesting doll
ne?
simply pulls apart to reveal the next one inside.
Indeed. Yet try it for yourself.
As you wish.
You are a gentleman.
いや、なんか挑戦的じゃないですか。で、ロシア人形を開ける？なんか特殊なギミックがあるということですね。さて、ちょっと微妙に柄が違う？はあはあはあ。なんでみんなこんなややこしいもん持ってくるんでしょうね。違うな。なんか見切れ方がこれあたりかな。何段階かになってるマトリョーシカっていうのは珍しいかな。で、これはつながらないとなってくると、これ違うね。ここの V 字っていうのは有効に使わなきゃだけど、青い花はあんまし生きてない感じがしますね。青は違う除外だ。で、桜色これあたりなのかな。でもそろそろ来ないとおかしいよ。あ、いた。はい。あ、すごっ。こんな風になってるんだ。面白いですね。作り込みがなんか細かいというか。で、次は、いや、こっからはなんか普通に開く可能性がありますよね。ちょっと待って。でもなんか、今度は上との接点が、なんだろう。ちょっと待って。なんかヒントない？違うか。3、4、5？ 1、2、いやー違うなー。ダブルクリックで開くとかじゃないよね。ああ、ダメか。なんか、ズームとかできるわけじゃないですね。いや、待って。今、リボンの切れ目があるのはここだけだな。他はね、リボンがない。とりあえずここにしよう。これでどう？他はさ、いやー、でもなんか一致、あ、やべ。あ、ちょっと待って。いや、これ内側のこれがヒントになってるってことない？気になってたんだけど。ピンク、オレンジ、紫、青。ピンク、オレンジ、紫、青。あー、ごめん。 ピンク。でも本当ここよ、ここだけがさリボンつながってる。マイクピンク、オレンジ、紫。ちきしょうめ。ちょっと周りよく見とこう。でも今回は内側に何も施されていませんからね。何段階あるんだね、君は。ちょっと待ちたま、ごめん。ちょっと操作がね。また意外とでも節は多そうだな。じゃあ、2つ3つ一緒に回るタイプや。逆にでもそれだったらこういうことか。中の場合は逆に回ってしまう。これだとでもいつかは揃うような気しますね。でもわかんないか。一番下を触るとまた違うのか。開いた。ネックレス。私の最愛の友人へ。
The inscription reads, To my dearest friend.
Thank you very much. This doll reminds her of her youth in Russia. It was very hard under the Soviet regime, but thanks to her strength of will, she rose to be the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg. Even though she now lives in Berlin, it is said that the Kremlin still fears her.
She must be a formidable woman indeed. You are her maid?
I am her companion. I help her in her daily tasks, and I keep her company.
Forgive me. You will have heard of Ratchet's murder last night.
Yes, of course. Everyone is talking about it.
はい。で、アリバイ。もうマトリョーシカでいっぱいいっぱいになっちゃった。
Can you tell me how you occupied your time last night?
Just after we left Istanbul, I had tea with my roommate, Fräulein Locke. I went to dinner with the princess, and when I returned to my compartment, Fräulein Locke was already asleep. A little later, Herr Michel, the conductor, came to get me because Madame la Princesse needed my help. Her back troubles her. I massaged her for about an hour.
Do you remember the time?
I'm sorry, I do not, mein Herr.
はい、なるほど。時間はちょっとアリバイが埋まることはなかったですね。で、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
Have you lost a handkerchief embroidered with an H, madame?
Oh, no, monsieur.
I thought perhaps since your first name is Hildegard.
It is not mine, I tell you. I could not afford something so nice. I have no idea who it belongs to.
My apologies, I did not mean to alarm you.
はい、OK です。
Thank you for answering my questions, madame.
現在はバラバラにしちゃったけど、それ元に戻せるからな。で、おひげはないでしょうか。次は一等車両の方に向かいます。ちょっと待ってよ。ほんと倉庫の方にももしかしたら戻らなきゃいけない可能性もありますよね。で、特にはない。205号室。どちらだったっけ？
Monsieur, I am Hercule.
I know who you are, Monsieur Poirot. What do you want?
Answers to a simple question or two.
All right, but quickly. My wife is quite ill. I would like to stay by her side.
I promise. First of all, I imagine you know about the murder.
Of course. The Countess is terribly distressed.
Your full name?
Rodolphe Adreny.
Your home is?
Budapest.
And how do you come to be aboard the Orient Express?
I am a Hungarian diplomat. My family has represented our homeland since the revolution from the Soviet Union in 1956. I was on my country's business in Istanbul. Business which I cannot discuss.
And your wife often accompanies you on your diplomatic missions?
Yes, and why not? Was there anything else you wanted to know?
はい、外交官、ちょっとなんか政治絡みで言えないことも多そうですね。で、ハンガリーって言ってたよね。34ぐらいでしょうか。で、外交官。今聞いたまんまぐらいだった。
That's the right answer.
まあ、正解というか確認事項ですね。で、アリバイ。
Can you tell me how you spent last night?
I was in our compartment with my wife. She went to bed early. I played a video game on my phone. Around 11 o'clock in the evening, my wife woke up and couldn't get back to sleep. She took a sleeping pill. As for me, I went to bed soon after that and slept straight through until morning.
はい、結構みんな睡眠薬多用してる感じだな。で、アームストロン家の事件。
Have you ever been to the United States?
I was posted to the Hungarian embassy in Washington for a year.
You knew perhaps the Armstrong family.
Armstrong? It is difficult to recall. One meets so many people.
またなんかいかにも知らなさそうな表情を見せましたね。で、アンドレに伯爵夫人。
It was the kidnapping of a child, a very sad affair. The culprit was the man on this train who called himself Ratchet, the one who was murdered last night.
Indeed. It sounds like justice finally caught up with him.
Thank you for your time. Now, I'd like to speak to your wife, if you don't mind.
It's impossible. As I told you, my wife is very ill. Thank you, and good luck with the investigation.
Eh bien, the good count does not appear to want me to talk to his wife.
はい、お話しすることは叶いませんでした。で、204号室。
Madame Hubbard, may I ask you a question or two? It won't take long.
Anything I can do to help?
刺繍入りのハンカチ。
Have you misplaced a handkerchief recently?
No, I don't think so. Why?
We found a handkerchief embroidered with the letter H, so I thought it might have been yours.
I'm sorry, but it's not. It may belong to Miss Schmidt, Princess Dragomirov's lady's maid. I believe her first name is Hildegard.
It is a possibility. Anyone could be lying, of course. I thank you, madame.
はい、ちょっと遠回しにあれじゃないですか。マダムに対してもそれが言えることを言っているような感じにも伺えますね、今の感じだと。で、ここには前にもあったんだがないでしょうか。で、ドクターはファーストネームが分かっていないので、その確認をしなければで、私の部屋やないかい、これは。いや、ヒゲがあるかもしれない。ちょっと、あったやったぞ
Another delightful trophy for my collection.
軽くテンション上がるところがまたいいですね。で、口ひげを発見した。危ねえ、なんか、つっかえた。こちらはちょっと名前が。
Hello, can I do something for you?
Hello, Monsieur
Hardman,
Hardman, I believe. You have heard of the murder?
Cyrus Hartman. Yes, and the fact that there's been a murder is all over the train.
You do not seem very concerned about it, monsieur.
It's not the first murder I've run across.
I had no idea the selling of toys was so dangerous. I did overhear you mention at dinner that this is your profession.
Toy salesman is a cover. I'm a private detective, just like you, from the US.
ああ、そうなんだ。はいはいはい。で、さっくり言ってくれましたね。アメリカで、もうちょっと言ってそうには見えるけどな。で、私立探偵。
I must admit I'm not right this time.
おう。認めないと進まない。年齢はちょっとなんか分かりにくいところがありますよね。笑。で、私立探偵？
I did not expect to find another detective on this train.
I just finished a job in Istanbul when I received an email from Ratchet. He hired me to protect him.
あなた
Something you
も。
failed to do.
I'm not happy about that. He'd received some threatening letters. I was supposed to watch his back, and yeah, something I failed to do. But he seemed to think he was in more danger when he left the train.
He was traveling to Paris?
I assume so, but I'm not entirely sure.
Can anyone on this train confirm your identity?
Yeah, that McQueen kid, Ratchet's secretary.
はい。で、アリバ
Were
イ。
you on duty last night?
You bet. I kept my door open a crack and I watched all night. No one entered that car who didn't belong there.
Did you see anything in particular?
The conductor, Michelle, he was there most of the time too, except for 15 minutes or so after we left Vinkovsky. He must have answered a call from Ratchet's room, then he was absent again for a while around 1 a.m. After that, he didn't move until 5.
はいはいはい。で、アームストロング家の事件。
Monsieur Ardman, have
これ
you
は知ってる
heard
でしょ
of the Armstrong case?
Armstrong? The kidnapping 3 or 4 years ago? Who hasn't? Why?
Ratchet's real name was Cassetti. I have reason to believe he was the kidnapper.
What?
ちょっと待って。
He killed that little girl? No, I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have taken the job.
はい、ちょっと確信を得てはいるんだけど、ポアロ結構言いふらしてますけどね。大丈夫なのかな。で、脅迫の原因。
Do you have any idea who was behind the threatening letters?
I don't know his name, but Ratchet told me he was a small man. Dark hair, with a womanish kind of voice.
Oh, thank you for your help.
女性っぽい声。で、刺繍入りのハンカチ。お、丁寧に。
Is this handkerchief embroidered with an H yours?
Do I look like the kind of guy who would use a handkerchief like that?
はい、違いました。わかんないじゃないですか。
Thank you for answering my questions, Monsieur Ardman.
Listen, Poirot. I know I fell down on the job, but if you need help, any at all, let me know. I'd like to make it right.
今度は頑張るから。ちょっと、名誉挽回、自分がしたいっていうのがありそうな感じですね。で、これは
Ah, it has been a while since I have seen one of those.
はいはいはい。PDA とか言われるタイプですかね。手伝えることだったらさ、私が捜査を進めてる間に裏でヒゲ探してくんない？ヒゲがね、大変なのよ。これ、ポアロトイレの中にチャポンと落ちてても拾うのかな？やったーみたいな。で、107号室。おっと、応答なし。
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
Very well, madam. I'll come back later. But you will need to speak to me.
え？
I am not prepared to receive
ああ、ダメだ。と言われても出ない。で、どう？
So, my friend, have you
もう
finished
急
your
ぎすぎだよ。
investigation?
No, but I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Okay. I stay here to watch this young lady.
はい。で、ちょっと医師に話があるから。
Excuse me, doctor. May I ask you
ファ
a
ースト
question?
ネームを。
Anything that can help the investigation, Mr. Poirot.
はい。刺繍入りのハン
I
カチ
wanted。to know what your first name is, doctor.
My name is Robert. Why?
To find out if the handkerchief embroidered with an H could have been yours.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Poirot. Cloth handkerchiefs are a playground for viruses. I would not touch one.
いや、そうね。まあ、私は結構タオルハンカチを使う人なんで、そう言われてしまうと、ってなっちゃうんだけど、悲しいわ。よし。で、他はないかな。さて、話せない。ん？これは何だい？なんか狩りとかの本でしょうか？ザ・コール・オブ・ザ・ワイルド？ジャック・ロンドン？なんか聞いたことあるけど、わからん。人の部屋入ってますは一別紙。そして、
Ah, Monsieur McQueen, may I ask you a question?
Anything I can do to help, Mr. Poirot?
で、ハンカチ。
This handkerchief embroidered with an H. Is it yours?
No, I don't use cloth handkerchiefs.
なるほど。
Thank you. I won't bother you anymore.
まあでもそう言われてしまったらどうしようもないとも言えるんですよね。で、ここまで来るともう何もない行き止まりになりました。違うか。すいませんね。なんだか、いやー、ここ、この壁にかかってる照明、これとかの間にも引っかかってそうっすね。走るわけにいかんからな。やっぱりちょっと、レストランの方に戻らなきゃいけない。なんか今日、変なところで止まりますね、急に。カクンって。ポアロか？ゲーム自体は動いてるんだけど、怖いな。さ。ネバーラウンジ。片付けなさいよ。取れたんだからいいでしょ。なんか今あったように見えなくもないな。特にはまだちょっと達成して、ナンドレニ夫人、これはでも目の前であれですからね。夫に大事に守られているがどうにかして事情聴取する方法を見つけなければ。待って、いやでもダメだよな。的漁師かはまた別ですもんね。だからちょっとなんかアクションが増えていないか見てみよう。ダメか。こっちじゃない。何らかアイコンで判別するしかないかもしんないな。で、レストラン。タイとかはどこ行っちゃったんだ。一件以降。で、キッチンに出てきてますね。よかった。
I'm sorry, sir, but I must concentrate on my baking.
最でっか。いずれはなんかやらされるの分かりきってるからな。先に片付けちゃわない？開けるだけ。ポアロさん、あんましむやみに開けないでもらえますと言われるわけでも、ちょっと裏に黄色いもんが隠れてるような気がして。で、違うなぁ。で、びっくりした。さて、座ってたぞ、モリー。
Sorry to bother you, Monsieur Mori. I have a question to ask you.
Please make it quick. I have a meal to prepare.
はい。で、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
This handkerchief embroidered with an H, is it yours?
No, I've never seen it before.
はい、違う。で、名前が H で始まる人物を事情聴取するが達成しました。
I hope your investigation won't interfere with today's menu.
なんか影響を与えることになった時は私がなんか手伝わされる時っていう気がしますけどね。さて、タスクは一つ完了しましたが、未だ達成していない足りないアリバイを要求。あと2人なんすよね。ドラゴミロフ。会うことができない。ファーストネーム。これも、アンドレに伯爵夫人になりますから、何かきっかけ。なんだろうな。新たに聞けることが増えたとしても、違うか。増えたとしてもアイコンが変わらないんであれば、それはちょっと困難ですね。会うこともできない。でも何らか一つ終わらしたことによってまた枝分かれするものがあるかもしれない。ミシェルとかもいないからね。
Hello again, Mr. Poirot. How can I help you?
ダメか。ドラゴロミフを呼んできてくれって。はい、言葉を折ってしまった。未だにオレンジジュースのことを感謝してもしきれないんだな。
Did you need something else, Mr. Poirot?
むしろ時間がかかったのはあなたの方だ。どこだろう。なんか窓の外眺めたら声をかけてもらえるとかあるんでしょうかね。どうされました、ポアロさん。まただ。また止まっちゃった。怖い怖い。あれ 伯爵に手助けを求めると伯爵夫人をと話せない。これは無理でしょ。手助け。
Monsieur, if I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
奥方を愛しているって何？いきなり、いや、お宅の奥さんのこと好きやねんみたいなこと言うの？
You are obviously a devoted husband, Count Andrini.
My wife means the world to me. There were questions in Budapest about a Hungarian diplomat marrying an American woman.
It did not deter you.
I would have given up my position for her. I would think it is universal. Are you married, Mr. Poirot?
No, I fear marriage is not for me. But her condition, is it very
オレンジジュース持ってきましょう
She
か。
is suffering about a vertigo. You understand? The room spins.
はい。で、彼の助けを提案する。コンスタンティン氏の助けを提案する。彼の助けとは？
If you allowed me, perhaps I could come in and see if I can help your wife.
Are you a doctor? I thought you were a detective.
We have much in common, do you not think?
そうい
We
う、
both
そ
try
う
to
いう
find
問題じゃない。
solutions to mysteries.
Then I won't keep you from the mystery you are undoubtedly more qualified to solve.
ああ、これはちょっと選択肢間違いっていう感じでしょうかね。じゃあ、大丈夫、大丈夫。出てきて、助けを持って。ちょっとこれ、スキップです。大丈夫あなたたち。
My wife means there were questions. I would think it.
No.
はい、
She
はい。
is
で、コンスタンティン医師の助けを提案す
I
る。
think Dr. Constantine could help your wife.
There is a doctor on this train? I did not know. Where is this doctor?
彼のところへ行くべきだ。彼は今忙しい。彼のところへ行くべきだ。
I think Dr. Constantine is in the lounge car. If not, perhaps the conductor can tell you where he is.
Very well. I will find him. Thank you very much.
いいの？もういかにもポアロ入ろうとしてるじゃん。
Forgive me for intruding, madame. I am Hercule Poirot.
I know who you are, Mr. Poirot. I overheard you send my husband on a wild goose chase.
Your husband cares for you greatly, madame. I apologize
丸
for
聞こえでしょう
exploiting
ね。
that fact. But the situation is urgent, and I need to ask you a few questions.
Apology accepted. I realize you must speak to everyone. This horrendous murder. It's very upsetting.
That is a beautiful music box.
Please don't touch the music box. It's a fragile family heirloom.
Your accent, is it American? Boston, perhaps?
You have a good ear, Mr. Poirot. Yes. Born and raised in what we call the Back Bay.
Are you in the diplomatic service like your husband?
No, not officially. I was still in college when I met Rudy 2 years ago. I keep myself busy handling his scheduling, travel, appointments.
Ah, what is the saying? Behind every great man there is a great woman.
That was the saying. Today one might reverse the sentiment as well, don't you think?
Of course, I stand corrected.
はいはいはい。で、キャラクター分析、国籍、アメリカ人。アメリカ人でいいかな？年齢、39？ 職業、なしですよね。
I do not
間
think
違って
that's
る。
the right answer.
じゃあ21。とてもお若かった。
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
まあ当たるまでやるからね。で、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
A handkerchief embroidered with an H was found at the crime scene. By any chance, does your first name begin with an H?
No, my first name is Elena, with an E.
エレナでいい。本当かな？ H から始まる絵もありますもんね。で、アリバイ。
Can you tell me what you did last night?
Well, my husband and I went to dinner. Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from sleeping?
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see.
はい、10回ほど。対決になってしまった。この中で嘘が含まれている文書はどれだろう。夫とディナーを食べに行きました。部屋に戻り10時までにベッドに入りました。12時から2時まで列車の揺れで眠れませんでした。睡眠薬を飲み2時過ぎに眠りにつきました。列車が揺れていたか？どこぞの駅にいましたよね。違ったっけ？
Calm now, Countess. You are not telling me the truth.
Why do you say that?
列車の停止。
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to
雪のためだった。
So there was no shaking of the train. But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from sleeping.
I don't know, you're confusing me. My vertigo.
Madame, a man died last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my husband.
ああ。すごい勢いでまくし立てたおかげ
It
で。
was unkind, I know, but my strategy worked. I can now inspect this room in peace.
はい、したたかな男ですね。で、これはイヤリング？なんだろう。いろいろとかかっているが、ちょっとなんか外れそうなピアスもありますよね。で、睡眠薬、みんなが大好きというか愛用してる。
The sleeping pills that Countess Andreni took last night.
はい。で、他は見るところはない。ここあたりは。で、これ壊れそうって言ってたその横の穴ポコがめっちゃ気になる。で、これは何の本？ザ・グレート・ギャツビー。華麗なるギャツビー？ひげないひげ。ないな。じゃあ見てみよう。壊れやすいと言われてるから怖いけど。ヒント？ちょっと待って。なんでで、音符？なんか、ザ・ルームとかいうあれを思い出させるような感じですね。じゃあまずこれ。
There seems to be something missing here.
何か欠けている。で、ここ、下に紋章があるようだが、3種類ですね。あ、嘘！揃ってから押さなきゃいけない感じ。で、閉じた。いや、閉じてる。ずっとな。うわー、なんか揃ったら自動的に開くとかではないのか。オッケーオッケー。じゃあちょっと周りを見よう。鳥、花。これかな。バラ、葉っぱ、鳥。どれがバラ？葉っぱ。あ、開いた。よし、いいぞ。ひげだったら笑いますけどね。で、クランクだ。ハンドルを回す。なんだ？ちょっと待って。これもさぞかしヒントがあるんだろうな。ここになんか、でも他にもあるよね。なんだろう。1。右、中央、左になってるぞ。音符？ 付き太陽。音符付き太陽で、ここですね。で、なんか土星っぽいの星。そういうことか。もうちょいか。その位置に持ってこいなんでしょうかね。あれ、ダメ。そうじゃない。ここら辺で行ったんじゃないですか。いたー。よし。あれちょっと位置が違うな。思ってた場所ではないみたいですね。カチャ。ここでハマった。で、出てきた。なんだ、なんかいいのか悪いのかよくわかんないけど。
An engraving written in, I believe, Russian Cyrillic. It looks like a first name.
キリル文字。ヘレナですよね、これ。まあ、エレナなんだけど。かわいい子供たち、ヘレナとソニアに。
For my beautiful young ladies, Helena and Sonia. Helena with an H. It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
年上の
Have you no shame?
怒られた。当たり前だ。
Monsieur,
ごめん、
I
いい
am
な。
afraid shame is not a very helpful emotion for a detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder, Count Andreni.
My wife is ill.
My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your compartment.
You will regret this, Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel, are you? Countess, I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music box.
How dare you?
The message in the medallion was addressed to you and Sonia. Sonia Armstrong. Your older sister? The mother of Daisy, the murdered child.
I am a Hungarian diplomat. You have no official standing here. You have no right to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this gentleman says. I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchet's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had been there.
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
I give you my word of honor that last night, Helena never left her compartment. My wife is telling you the truth, Poirot.
I hope so. I'll let you rest. The matter of the H on the handkerchief still needs clearing up. But first I should check the inscription on the back of the medallion.
はい、よかった。これでとりあえず確認ができた。で、メダルの裏、彫刻の翻訳。はい、この刻印が何を意味しているのか確かめよう。ポアロのロシア語の知識を使ってこの彫刻を翻訳しよう。でもさ、ちょっとこれ、 ヘレナでいいんじゃないのダメでも違うな。ちょっと待って、調べる。あ、調べるでこれか。破綻。そもそも翻訳の知識っていうのがどういう感じ。でもこれ H ですよね。このままの文字を打てばいいのかな。で T でしょあれ。でこれ N なのかな。これかな。N だと思う。であれなんだ。R かな。
Natalia. Would it be Natalia Dragomirov? She is the only Russian passenger on the train. In addition, her first name begins with an H in Cyrillic.
おお。すごいすごい。ポアロすごいですね。で、公爵夫人、アンドレに公爵夫人のオルゴールに入っていたメダルのおかげでミセス・ドラゴミロフがデイジーの名付け親だということが発見できた。で、さらにミセス・ドラゴミロフと話すドラゴミロフ伯爵夫人を事情聴取する。彼女は手強そうな相手だ。今までの大尉とは違う。大尉がいかにもちょろいっていう感じになりますけどね。ドラゴミロフは違ったわ。違う。107ですよね。
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry, madam, but a man has been murdered. I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Come in, please.
おー、ついに来たって感じ。ちょっとゾワッとしますね。
Madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
Then ask. I'll answer if it pleases me.
We have not been properly introduced. Yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her.
はい。で、興味深いロシア人。これは結構高齢ですからね。いや、博物館の館長ではそうだね。
My little gray cells did not let me down.
さて、アリバイ。
I will first ask you about last night. Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffered from back pain, a consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see.
そこは一致していますね。で、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
The first initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
This handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was found in Monsieur Ratchet's room. Can you explain to me why Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
Possibly to protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come to be lying by a murdered man's body? My reply to that is that I have no idea.
That is not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give you.
はい、すごいなあ、このガンとした姿勢というか、すごいなって思いますね。もうなんか語彙があれですけど、で、アームストロン家の事件。
I must tell you, Princess Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel Armstrong well, then?
I knew him slightly, but his wife, Sonia Armstrong, was my goddaughter. I was on terms of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius, one of the greatest tragic actresses in the world. I was not only an admirer of her art, I was a personal friend.
Very well. But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Elena Andreni is the sister of Sonia Armstrong, the late mother of Daisy Armstrong, kidnapped and killed by the man who was murdered on this train, Ratchet.
Indeed. Was it he? Then justice has at last been served.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close to the Armstrong family, and the presumed assassin of Daisy Armstrong was killed while you were on board the same train. Second coincidence. Your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence. One of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot, call it fate. If you report to the police your coincidences, they will laugh. A woman of my age and frailty has violently murdered a man? With how many potential witnesses who saw me doddering along the corridor in the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth?
You are right, Princess. You could not work alone, which means you have one or more accomplices. And it is only a matter of time before I find out who they are.
I would appreciate it if you would remove yourself from my room and take your fantasies with you.
はい、まあ強気に出た結果、話をそこで終わらせてしまおうという感じになりましたね。で、新しいアリバイの再確認、マインドマップ。これはなんか繋ぐことになりそう。犯行時刻に関して事情聴取をした人たちのアリバイを確認しておかなければ。アリバイが合致する人物は、ミズ・アンドレニはアンドレニ伯爵。ドラゴミノフは、マッサージされてましたんで、で、ポスカレリは、マスターマン歯痛い言ってましたからね。で、は、ミシェル。うん。よかったよかった。
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
よし、とりあえず整理はできたぞ。その中でブークへ報告になりましたね。おっとっとっと。ちょっと待って、でもこれがすごい。中に旧館長なりがいる感じ？ちょっと探ってますけど、何も言わないですね。早く出ていけよみたいな目はされたけど、じゃあ出ていきます。じゃあヒゲがね置いてあるんじゃないかと思ってるわけですよ。キャラクターがつけてたら面白いんですけどね。よし、ブック。
Oh, Poirot, you're there. She hasn't moved, but she seems to be
動いてないとでもダメじゃないか。
What about you? Your investigation progresses?
I find myself helping everyone with their problems before they can help me with mine. I have shifted boxes, helped with hangovers, repaired an orange juicer, unlocked some Russian dolls, all so my investigation can proceed.
Don't forget the dessert recipe.
How can I?
Truly, the labors of Hercules.
My friend, I would rather clean out the Orgeon stables. Yet, I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Oh, tell me everything.
はい。で、刺繍入りのハンカチ。
The embroidered handkerchief belongs to Princess Dragomirov. I also found out that she was Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
On the same train with the little girl's murderer?
Exactly. Also, Elena Andreni is the younger sister of Sonia Armstrong, Daisy's mother.
Another passenger connected to the Armstrong case?
Yes, Book. What are the odds, do you think? But I cannot see either woman stabbing Ratchet over and over again in a frenzy. And they apparently have alibis.
はい。だからこその複数のっていうのを疑っている。で、壊れた腕時計。
I had 3 theories concerning the broken watch. It could have been tampered with. It could have been out of adjustment before the murder. Or, of course, it could indicate the actual time of the murder. The only hypothesis I could rule out was that the watch was out of adjustment. For the others, they are impossible to verify. So the watch is of little use to the investigation.
And I was convinced that it indicated the time of the crime. 2 women involved in the Armstrong case.
Let us not forget our patient here. There are 3 women.
Look, she seems to be waking up.
What's happening to me? Did I fall asleep again?
Indeed, Mademoiselle Locke.
はい。で、睡眠薬量が多いと言われて
Did
い
you
た。
take any medication? Sleeping pills, for example?
No. I never use sleeping pills.
I inspected your cup. You can clearly see that there is a residue of something at the bottom. I'm sure a lab test would confirm you were drugged. Most likely an overdose. That would explain your battle to shake off the effects.
You think Fräulein Schmidt did it?
She certainly had the most opportunity, but why would she?
But no one knew who I was. It's impossible that someone deliberately targeted me.
はい。ミズ・ロックは薬を飲まされた？で、マインドマップ。ミズ・ロックに薬を飲ませた可能性が最も高い容疑者を2人選ぼうとなってくると、ミズ・シュミット、これは間違い、今も名前が挙がったようにですよね。で、ニールセンになってくるんじゃない？この中だと。違うかな？
No.
あ、ダメですか？あ、じゃあ、ミシェルもおかしくない？
Fräulein Schmidt or Monsieur Michel may have drugged the tea that Mademoiselle...
むしろバーテンの方を疑うとかの方があれだもんな。
Fräulein Schmidt or Pierre Michel...
あ、でも、そうか。発見した時のことを考えるとあれか。
Only 2 people on this train who could have done it.
しかもだけ言われた。
But why would either one do it?
Mr. Poirot, I'm feeling much better. I'd like to bring you up to date to why I ended up on this train.
If you are able, I would very much like you to finish your story.
Very well then. After the Daisy Armstrong case was officially closed, I put out a standing request to the police departments in the Boston area for anything on Michael Clark. But he didn't turn up on their radar. I even set up an anonymous tip line for news about Clark. That's how I met Braid, a sketchy contact on the dark web, but they found nothing I could use.
はい、マイケル・クラーク、新聞記者と言われる。
4 long years passed without anything new. Every day I looked at the evidence board I put up in my apartment bedroom. Then this morning, a police report landed on my desk that changed everything. I paid a visit to the police property room and took home a box full of clues. There was his name. Michael Clark.
で、ちょっと列車のあれがありましたね。あれちょっと待って。で、ちょっと気になったんだけど、この死体はまあ今後明らかになっていくんでしょうけど、というところでヒゲが入ってた、ヒゲ飼ってたんだね。
Not really my style, but I'll take it.
趣味じゃないけど、まあ持ってはいる。あ、この本ここにもある。
I've read it probably 10 times already, but I can't get enough of it. Don't know why.
そういうのあるよね。それがいい意味であることを祈りましょう。で、すごいですね。本当このデイジーへの執着の強さをものすごく感じる。写真は全部一緒ですけど。はい。ということで、ちょっと今回はここまでにしておきましょうか。次回、またもちょっとロック視点、過去、オリエント急行に至るまでっていうものになっております。ここにある OR っていうのも気になるし、列車の写真というのも気になりますので、次回はそれを追っていきましょう。ということで、今回はここまでご視聴ありがとうございました。